just a part of it. And you know, that looked fairly big already. So here we go, with tanks rolling into the battle, and in the background there you can already see some of the capture points. At the top of the screen you can see there are 7 on this map.
So actually, in case people are new to Battlefield as a whole, maybe they haven't played the... Let's talk through that there, because we saw the bayonet charge coming out. Now, I know some people know this, some don't. Again, you know, new viewers coming through may not realize that maybe that's not always the best idea to take yourself further into it, because maybe sprinting works out better. Can you take us through a little bit of that mechanic? Because I know you know about it.
Yes, I do. So the bayonet charge mechanic, obviously it's intended to, so they turn around and they bayonet charge out of the way because you sprint so much faster. However, though, after that sprint, you can only walk, because obviously you've just gone and sort of catch the tank unawares.
Yeah, and Stone Mountain trying to hold on here. The rest of his team was almost wiped at that point. His squad was in dire straits, so he's going to try and do what he can on the objective almost here, near that train station. Try and keep this one under wraps. You're going to see, actually, at the moment, it's the British Empire taking damage. There's no disputing that.
Here comes the train now. And yes, it is on rails for anyone else out there who wants to make a joke about that. No, it is on rails, and it features 6 different seats, plenty of cannons on the side. It's actually got an anti-air cannon as well, so it is extremely powerful, not only to ground units, but people up in the sky really do need to pay attention as well.
Now, speaking of up in the sky, though, there has to be a counter to this. As you said, there are
people to try and take this thing out, but you leave yourself extremely exposed to everything else up there as well, because you're concentrating on something on the ground, not the other plane that's now left yourself extremely vulnerable. Who have we got here? This is Driftor. He's taking the tank into perhaps uncharted territory, into a more infantry part of the map, but of course he's putting a lot of power.
Perfect cover. The map, however, does change. The cover, it just completely removes itself throughout this battle. And again,
you can see here on the ground to the right-hand side, you can see the craters that have been formed in the ground. That could have been from a dumbfire rocket from the plane. It could have been the anti-Tucky. Either way, it was a cool bit of footage.
Look, no luck, just skill, one shot, one kill. All right, that's what I cling to, and I will always stick to that, you know. Don't be a naysayer, or I'll have to bring out the horse puns, okay? But we are seeing still this. They could be done for.
Well, looking at it now, I'd find it extremely unlikely if the Ottoman Empire really managed to pull anything back at this stage. Only 45 seconds to go. They have taken back a couple of points, but they appear to be losing them just as quickly as they're taking them. Perhaps the players on the map, their distribution isn't great at the end of the round. Maybe they're just frantically trying to capture whatever they can. And that's, again, that's part of Battlefield. It forces you to change what you're doing. Suddenly you've got to focus on something different. I mean, there are 64 players playing here, so there's always something different that's going to happen.
All right. And Azel, what have you got here? He's capturing, at least.
Yeah, he is capturing.
He's actually doing so many ways to play this game, and at the moment we're going to find out exactly how these guys approach it. Already, though, G&A going to their, you know, different sides. So the Ottoman Empire finds one, and the British Empire finds the other. But it's all about those middle points. How do they approach?
Not only the flamethrower, but we do have the sentry, which is the walking tank, as it's
the dad's strength. Right.
And we've got the tank hunter as well, which actually is on a point of the map that we haven't seen a huge amount of. The tank hunter on Sinai Desert is it's hidden away right in the middle of the desert underneath some cover, and you can pick up the anti-tank rifle there. You do have to go a long way to get it.
So, my word, that horse was ambitious trying to take on a tank. Surely that's not going to go well, and it didn't in the end. The tank's still rolling. He's still happy chugging along. I don't think he even realized what happened then.
No, I mean, in many respects, is that the horses have like a... I don't like calling it feelings because it's a video game, but horses do have certain tendencies, and they are in the middle of a war, and they are sort of maybe a little bit jumpy, and they can actually sort of jump over cover if you approach it. So let's say you may be coming up to a small wall or barbed wire or something like that. As long as it's not too tall, the horse will actually attempt to jump over it for you.
Drunks gets absolutely wrecked, and I love seeing that. Nice try, Drunks. I see why you're not in Fnatic anymore.
Yeah, he is the ex-professional. He's no longer a professional. That's actually quite harsh. Never mind.
Hey, I'm allowed to do that, all right? You know, you got to abuse him a little bit.
Those objectives out there.
And it is so deadly just walking across that really open environment. You will get punished if you do. You've got to find ways to find cover or maybe utilize those horses. As Lars kind of brought into the conversation, they do have some fair speed on them. Those things aren't slow. They can surely pull yourself into the battle, so maybe look at those to pull yourself in towards...
Look at the screen here. We look at actually these
Wow.
Jeeps. It's rather interesting. The armoured vehicle has access to mines that come out. That was a rather funny killer. Oh my God, it happened again. Yeah, the armoured vehicles have access to mines that can be dropped out at the bottom of the vehicle.
Ooh,
Something
wow.
that...
Have we seen that yet?
well, listen to this. One of the players earlier on today tested to see whether those mines would damage the armoured train. Now, the only way that you can damage the armoured train with a mine is that you have to put the mine. It's just not going to be available. And if we look at the score again, the British Empire are still 10 points behind. So that train, they didn't use it effectively enough. They didn't get to the objectives they did.
Here, whoever wins this, whether it be the British Empire, the Ottoman Empire, walks away with a victory. They've been playing tooth and nail to pick up this victory. We've seen 2 draws. That is incredible to even consider. And this is what it comes down to, Westy. Where are our eyes going to be focused here at the start?
Well, again, I mean, I think the infantry section of that map, more so than anywhere else, played a huge part in that final score. We did see a lot more action in some of the bases that were a little bit further out, which was nice to see.
Yep.
We weren't just looking at the infantry section, but again, I think it's going to play a pivotal role because there are 3 capture points in a very small space there, and you can just sort of do a round robin and keep moving. But if the enemy team are doing exactly the same,
no one really benefits.
Exactly, those flags are going to move all the time.
And that's the reason we actually saw the British Empire struggling in that previous game in a little bit of a way. They didn't quite have the
that they try and go for the win just a little bit earlier. Maybe they look at that clock a minute before they did last time and go, oh, we haven't got much time. We better make sure we take some of those points. Good view of the mechanic, the engineer mechanic.
And look at this lockout
that
so
point
far.
there. Yeah, oh wow, the lockdown is near enough complete. That's a full 5 flags, 1 being contested, so you can consider it maybe 5.5.
Yep.
And then 1 flag to the British Empire.
And this is how you get those big leagues.
Right now, but again, they need to make sure they use it effectively. As far as I could tell from that last shot there, at the moment it appears there's only a driver in this train. And already you can see the Ottoman Empire are all over the train. It's taken a little bit of damage and it's not even come anywhere near the center of the map yet.
Now I'm wondering who we have in the skies for the other side. For the
Such a large ticket gap. Is it really going to make a difference at this late stage? With about 3 minutes left to go, that ticket gap is still very, very big. I'm not even sure they could turn
all the way through that. It was a gritty battle, to say the least. So in the last